The strike action by the employees of the Hambantota Port entered day 3 today. The Satyagraha campaign, launched last afternoon, is also continuing.
These employees say that their employment is at risk as there is an attempt to hand over the Hambantota Port to a Chinese company in a manner that would not benefit the country. They request to be assigned to the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. Employees of all departments at the Hambantota Port are engaged in this strike action. As a result of this, 2 vessels with vehicles and construction material remain anchored at port, unable to obtain services from the port. An attempt was made to deploy the Sri Lanka Navy to the port in order to provide required services and release the vessels. Those attempts proved to be futile as the port employees refused to cooperate. Port employees thereafter deployed smaller vessels that obstructed the path of 2 large vessels. Police who arrived this afternoon called on the employees to release the 2 ships. Meanwhile, our correspondent noted that 2 other ships have been anchored in deep sea. 4 employees expressed their support to the Satyagraha campaign at the entrance of the harbour by climbing onto the 14th floor of the administrative complex. Those engaged in the trade union action took over the fire trucks and water bowsers at the port and moved them to the entrance of the port. The JVP expressed their support to this strike action as well. Who recruited them? Was it during Namal's time? Was it during the current minister's tenure? It is pointless talking about if Rohitha, who was the then minister. The people here work for wages. We will fight for those people.
Issuing a communique, the Ministry of Development Strategies and International Trade noted that an MOU was signed between the Sri Lankan government and the China Merchant Port Holdings Company last night on the Hambantota Port. What I say is that if it is impossible to buy 51% of the 100%, we should do it. The letter we sent on behalf of the Sri Lanka Ports Authority was not the letter which was sent by the Secretary's Committee to the Chinese company. I was not the one who made the final decision. There is a committee of secretaries for that. Our secretary was among them. A committee of 3 secretaries was appointed. I will not agree to that because I think that a large amount is necessary for us. Malik Samaravikrama and Sarath Amanugama are the ones who forwarded the letter to the cabinet. As part of the government, I am still in efforts to buy a larger share. The Hambantota Port has been given for 99 years for a sum of $1.12 billion. Who makes the decisions for the government? Plans are set and agreements have been signed to sell the Hambantota Port for $1.1 billion after it finished with $450 million in the first phase. In our books, it is recorded as $1,347 million. That means that Namal Rajapaksa is unaware of the amount close to 1,000 million. I would like to ask the President and the Prime Minister, where has this amount close to 1,000 million gone? The whole country is aware of what good governance is. It's still young and the bond scam took place. The country suffered a loss of 145 billion. In order to cover up their wrongs, they are selling off the resources day by day. In order to cover up the bond scam, they are selling off the Hambantota Port. In order to cover up the Prado deal, they are selling off the airport. This group has also decided to sell off the resources in the country.
Malik Samaravikrama and Priyat Bandhu were sent to China for discussions.
The Prime Minister must be questioned on that. He did not inform us of that visit. Following the media briefing, Namal Rajapaksa visited the Hambantota Port, where he received the following welcome from the port employees.